memorizing the Bible, the book of Colossians. I hope you guys are doing well with that. But the other thing that I want to happen is I want us guys to be able to preach, to teach, and at least teach well, study the Bible right, and to teach well. So the first session, I'll probably give a small Bible study on how we should prepare. Because that's hard, no? Teaching 10 minutes, really hard. The drill to me was to do it in 5 minutes. A passage, give the truth, give an introduction, a transition, the message, a closing, and an application in 5 minutes. It's really 1 minute. Ako naman, I'm gracious, I'll do it 2 minutes each. So it's 10, that's why it's 10 minutes. But the idea, again, is we want to disciple people to have the same values, to have the same priorities as we have. And we know that Timothy had that. Paul was able to train Timothy in a manner wherein he is kindred spirit. Second, it says, "For I have no one else of kindred spirit who will genuinely be concerned for your welfare." And I asked the question, why do you do what you do? Why, spouse, why, my daughter, why do you massage me? I know my son and my daughter sometimes, out of the blue, they'll massage me. That I know. There's a request that will follow. Oh, massage ka na yan. Then mabisit, no, dad, nothing lang. Oh, come on. Because when I tell them to massage, normally, it's a pain on there for them, right? But sometimes kusa eh. Mamasahe. Something's wrong. Why do we do what we do towards our spouse, towards our kids, towards our siblings? The thing here with Timothy, which Paul was commending, is Timothy had no hidden agendas. He was not trying to please the church in Philippi or anybody else. A lot of people, they try to be pleasing because what? They want something in return. They want to be on the good side of certain people. So that what? They get donations, they get support, they get businesses. Remember, the church in Philippi is a poor church. Walang mapapalaganan dito si Timothy serving there. Okay lang sana kung yung church nasa Forbes Park. If you tell, there's a church in Forbes Park and they're looking for a pastor, trust me, there'll be a ton. Advertise that. But if you put there's a church that meets in Quiapo, corner Tondo. I don't know what they mean, right? Quiapo, corner Tondo. We're looking for pastors. Gloss over. Timothy had no hidden agendas. He was there really just to serve. Why? Because he genuinely cares for them. He has an affection. The word genuinely there is described as a brother. A brother that is genuinely concerned towards the concerns of his siblings. As I am genuinely concerned for the welfare of my family, my wife, my kids, Timothy had that in him. He was genuinely concerned, and some people say it's because he took part. He was partnering one way or another in forming that church. And Paul, because he knew that Timothy had a kindred spirit, knew that his affections towards the church in Philippi will be shown through Timothy. Interesting, right? Because Paul does not say, you know what, I'm sending you Timothy who has a doctorate degree. Timothy who has this achievement. Timothy who is a holy man. He says, I'm sending you Timothy who is genuinely concerned for your welfare. Ang kanyang pakay yung iyong kapakanan. Nothing else. He was not expecting anything. He was not expecting any recognition. He is just concerned. He does not care. It will take him 45 days just to go there and minister to them. Bobby, may Bible study. Saan? Sa bandang bandang Bulacan. Medyo malayo Magre-refer na lang ako. I praise God. I really praise God. No one is requesting me. But I had a request before to do a Bible study in Ortigas on Wednesday. Kasagsagan ng traffic. Honestly, I did minister to them. And I told them, guys, I'll commit for 4 months or 6 months. I can't remember how months. And by that time, I hope there'll be a Timothy who can carry on. But really, we should just have that attitude of genuine concern towards a brother. We shouldn't ask, Bobby, can you serve? Teka muna, saan ba yan? See, there's some people I ask. I heard, one I asked personally, one I heard that, oh, you want me to teach? Ilan ba attendees? I don't do. Prayer group lang yan. Magdasalan mo na kayo. I think the requirement was 50 or 100. Yeah. And I remember I shared this to you guys. One time I was inviting a pastor. And the pastor was asking, right? A business class ticket. First class hotel in the Philippines. Asking how many would attend. And honestly, I agreed, no? For some reason, I agreed. Okay, I'll provide the business class ticket, I'll provide the hotel, I'll provide you everything that you want. And he still said no, kasi maliit nga doon yung church. Oh, man. I really felt bad, right? But we serve because we should serve with genuine concern. Irrespective of how far, how near, how expensive, how little, we really don't care. We serve it. And Paul says here, I'm sending you him because he has genuine concern. When I told Timothy, it will take you 45 days to go there, he said, when am I leaving? He does not care. And sometimes we need not walk 45 days to be a good example to serve. We can just take 20 steps to serve our wife. Water. So please don't ask me water. Doorbell. Yeah, I'll serve you. Right? We can do that. Sometimes we say, okay, Lord, I'll do that. When you call, I'll do that. Okay, why don't you, let's train. Do that to your spouse. Right? Let's just train. Let's just do it to our spouse. Why don't we start serving him? Why don't we just be genuinely concerned towards his or her welfare? And that's the thing that Paul says. Thirdly, for they all seek their own interests, not those of Jesus Christ. It's so easy nowadays to have another first and not Christ, right? Our job would be first. Our family, what's first in my life now is just to be successful. What's first in my life now is my career. But here we see Paul giving a negative, which would imply that Timothy was doing the positive. People were seeking their own interests. And this was referring to the people in Rome. In Romans chapter 1, I think verse 16 and 17, where they were sharing the gospel not out of love. They were sharing the gospel so that their church may increase. They were serving, they were using religious activity to promote themselves. Not really for the sake of Christ. They were doing all of these things to promote themselves and using Christ as an excuse for their exaltation. That happens a lot. You hear testimony of people, blah, blah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. And they would put a verse and they say, praise God. I remember as you know, I spoke to CCF show 2 weeks ago, and they asked me, how do you want to be introduced? Just introduce me as Bobby Cordon, a bond servant of Christ. That's the only thing I want to be introduced. Because nothing really matters. Who cares? And that's how we should be when we serve. We don't want the attention on us. We want the attention on Him. In anything, we don't want recognition. We want exaltations of Christ in our life. Sometimes we serve so that people will notice us. Napansin mo ba, sinerve kita today? Hindi mo napapansin. I'll serve you until you compliment me. Right? Timothy had nothing like that in his life. They seek the advancement. Go to 1 Corinthians, please. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 24. It says, let no one seek his own good, but that of his neighbor. Let no one seek his own good, but that of his neighbor. So there's a last piece of fried chicken. Who gets it? In our house, when we ask for egg and sunny side up, who would get the basag? If there's 5 eggs and 4 ang basag, ang isang hindi, who will get the hindi basag? Right? But it says here, let's not seek for our own good, but that of his neighbors. I mean, how many people are willing to put their business on hold, or to put their comfort on hold, to put others ahead of ourselves? Not for anything. And this is really minor. I discovered it seems like a mole or a wart, and it's kind of different. I discovered it basically this week. I touched it and I said, never noticed this. I touched my other mole, which has been there since birth. It's different. Mine has a different texture. This new one has different texture. It's kind of rough. It has a different shape. And all that different. Okay. Google skin cancer. That's a great thing about computers. You can check. Okay, first things first, go to the doctor. Right? That's why I went to the doctor. But I remember that morning, because I told my wife nung evening, and